Podcast tip. If you have to go to the bathroom, it's better to be a little bit late. If you're going to do a podcast and just go instead of being on time and, having a weird face throughout the episode.
Like number 2?
It doesn't matter. Number 1, number 2. Even if you have to pee, it's the pebble in the shoe thing.
I guess. I don't think it's going to make me have a weird face.
You have a weird face now.
Well, you know what's happening?
What's happening?
This room has a lot of echo, and I'm staying at my friend's house in Lisbon, and everybody's on a call. There's 3 people in the house, and everyone's on calls.
Wow.
So I'm out of my element.
Dude, how's Lisbon? You're in Portugal.
Wait, before I tell you this, look at this.
Yeah. Oh, fancy. So I have a fancy mic too. Wait, what is that?
That's like a micro travel mic.
Oh, I have a Shure. So I'm a huge fan of Shure mics. Hopefully they'll be a sponsor on our podcast one day. And I have a travel mic that you plug into your phone. It's simple, but it's super powerful. It's great. I love it.
But last week you were just using your regular mic and holding it.
No, when I travel, I bring the Shure mic.
I know, but last week you were in Palm Springs.
Yeah, I didn't bring that one.
That doesn't count, right?
Yeah, I bring that mic when I'm not on camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm in Lisbon.
How is it?
So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, I just got here. What's today? Today's Monday. I got here yesterday at noon. So I've gotten to walk around and eat and drink coffee, and went for a big run today. Did some pull-ups, push-ups.
How does the environment feel? Does it feel like Italy? Does it feel like cobblestones? I'm assuming coffee shops, pastries are big there. Yeah,
a lot of pastel de nata. That's like their thing.
Oh,
it's like a little cream pie. I don't really know how to.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, a lot of cobblestone. It's reminding me a lot of Panama. Some of the infrastructure is very in various states of disrepair.
Oh, you don't seem impressed.
No, it's just
I'm actually excited to go there, but I don't know. I'm getting you're giving it so far by your face. It's like a 3-star review.
No, it's fine. It's just that it's not it's about pigs, right? Have you heard of pigs?
No.
Pigs is Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. It's the poorest countries in sort of Western Europe.
Right.
And so some of the infrastructure, they just don't have as much money.
Yeah.
And what I noticed was that it's just some buildings are abandoned or falling apart, and they're sort of public. They're government buildings, and they just don't have the funds to maintain some of the stuff.
Right. Portugal is like a restaurant that everyone's talking about that I haven't been to yet, that I'm super excited about. And a lot of times I go to these restaurants because there's so much hype, and it's good, but it's not is the expectation or the what I've imagined because of so many people talking about it has been exaggerated. So I don't give it a fair experience because I'm going into it with so much expectation. I feel like Portugal is going to be like that.
I think that's fair. Also, there's a ton of tourists everywhere.
Yes, everyone's going there.
And then I'm get out of my way,
Yeah, the people that live there are get out of my house.
Yeah. But I'm a tourist.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm more of a traveler. I feel like it's different,
You feel like you're
I'm better than.
You're better than. You're a notch above.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel generally better than other people?
Wow. No, I don't. I really don't feel better. I also don't feel inferior. I'm a very I don't know what the word is. I just feel normal. I feel average. I know average is it's not a healthy word maybe, but I don't feel inferior, less than, and I don't feel better. I don't have this kind of entitlement. I fit right in, man.
You know what they call that in AA?
What?
They call it getting right-sized.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, like, you mean people who think they're better and people who think they're less than? You got
Yeah,
to get right sized.
yeah. People get in,
Oh, yeah,
come into the rooms of
yeah,
AA either like feeling like a piece of shit or,
yeah.
the best thing since sliced bread.
How do you know where you fall, and how do you know you need to be resized?
I think we probably all need to be resized a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think it ebbs and flows, right? If you feel like you're better than everybody around, if you look around and you go, I'm the best, then you need to be right sized.
yeah.
And if you look around and you say, I'm the worst, then you need to be right sized.
Yeah, and it also depends on the environment. So like I'm very comfortable in the gym, but put me in a Pilates class, and I'm definitely not the right size. I'm not, I'm
Oh,
under. Or I went swimming. I went swimming the other day in an Olympic-sized pool, and yeah, I was so humbled.
yeah, that's a big pool, dude.
It's 50 meters, one lap.
Yeah. I'd get
Yeah.
lost in a pool like that.
Also, I was with someone who does the Ironmans, and he swims 1 mile. I'm like, I can barely run a mile, let alone swim. So after I left, he did 14 more laps. I'm just like, wow,
Is it true that you could barely run a mile?
no, come on, Shaun.
So funny.
Okay, so running is one of my worst things. I do look like a refrigerator with the doors flapping, running, rolling down the street. If that image makes any sense. I don't know how to run, so it is hard for me. I don't do 6 minute miles or anything like that. The fastest mile I can do is probably like a 7.5, maybe. Yeah, it is hard. It is harder for me than the average John, but I can do it.
Oh,
I can run a
nice.
mile. Yeah,
Hey, hold on. What can I make? Like, sometimes I want to throw out a joke,
yeah.
but I don't want to. I don't want to like hurt you.
Shaun, you can't hurt me.
Well, okay. And then when you said that you look like a fridge running,
I mean, of course you could hurt me, but
when you said that you look like a
yes, here
fridge
comes the
running down.
joke. All right, let's see if this hurts. Okay, go ahead, bring it, bring it. I know it's not going to be racist. I know it's going to be appropriate, so it's not. It's probably not going to hurt. Jokes that hurt are jokes that are under the belt, below the belt, and you're probably not going to punch that low. So let's go.
More like a mini fridge.
Oh, the size thing. Okay, that's funny. That I don't know if that hurt. I'm definitely shorter than you, Shaun. I know by a few inches. I'm 5'8", and you're
Oh,
5'10". You're 6.
6 foot.
Wow. You know what, Shaun? You have the perfect height. I think the 6 foot man, like, isn't that what everyone wants to? Because I think anything above that is too much. To be honest with you,
Well, not for tall women.
I mean, just like as someone who has always wished that he was just a couple inches taller. But I don't want to look like a basketball player. I want to be able to sit in a Porsche or a Mini Cooper.
Without a phone book.
Yeah, without a phone book, or my knees hitting my eyes.
So was that hurtful?
It wasn't hurtful.
But it was unnecessary.
No, I like it. It's. I think the joke was good. The mini fridge is. I think that was a funny joke. I think it was smart, so it relieves a little bit of the sting. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So if the joke wasn't funny, then it would just, okay, now you're just kind of like, taking shots at me.
you're just being
Um,
mean.
yeah, and also, I don't feel like I'm Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Like
Or Joe Rogan.
no, Joe Rogan isn't that short. It's because he's so. I mean, he is short. I think
He's
he's
so
5'7",
wide.
5'8". Yeah, he's so. He actually looks like more like a refrigerator than me. Like his
It's true.
head, he's such a wide person, and he's built that he looks shorter than he actually is.
He's also on all sorts of like tea and human growth. And
I mean, I don't know. I've seen him. I was gonna approach him, but I was like, that shit.
have you? So I'd like to invite you to make jokes about me too, so that we can keep making jokes.
So we're at that early friendship level where we're kind of like, can I say this? Is he gonna get mad at? We're still kind of feeling each other out, and I think that's why you're asking, can I say something that may hurt you?
I mean, I've heard you say that like I can't hurt your feelings and that everything is a joke, but I think maybe that's not entirely true.
Oh, of course we can hurt each other's feelings. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Question for you before we get into it,
Yeah.
and it's a question that I think is actually kind of many people can relate to, and it's how do you know when you're called to something? How do you know? You know, the big word is intuition, and I've struggled with my radar as far as intuition. So, with like, how do you know if you feel called to do something? If it's a yes, if it's so it doesn't matter if we're talking about dating someone or a business decision or running a retreat, like whatever. How do you know? Okay, I'm going to do this or I'm not.
That's a great question. Why are you asking?
Because this weekend I felt very called. I uh, I see people in my life and the exchanges and the conversations sometimes greater than me, meaning messages are coming at me. I just have to notice, right? So, like, I was having a conversation with my friend Danae, and she pulled up. We were talking about I owe Harper another book, an on purpose book, and I don't know what it's going to be. And it's not going to be for a while, but I've already got the deal, and so I don't know what to write about. And she's like, "Dude, you got to write about men." And I was like, "Nah, I've done that. I've been talking about men." And the timing of men today. Well, I guess this lines up with our podcast, right? Just kind of, I feel like the pendulum has swung almost the other too far, and I think there's going to be a return of man, healthy man, redefining. And she's like, John, you're the person to do it, man, because you can go lift weights and ride motorcycles and bro down, but then you can also talk about your feelings, and there needs to be some kind of Trojan horse that becomes a bridge, right? And so I started thinking about that, and I was like, is this something that I should pursue? And then I decided I'm going to start a men's group in my garage. And if you know my story, I've been running groups for my most of my professional career, and I don't really want to run another group. But this would just be for my boys. Like, if you lived here, you would come. And 6, 7, 8, 9 people in my garage on Sunday talking about life. And it's like I feel called to do it. And then I was like, is this something I should do? Should I commit to this? And how do I know? And is it greater than me? If I want to be of service, but all these kind of like weird, indecisive feelings. So that's what happened.
Cool. I mean, I would join a men's group. I've always wanted to join a men's group, but have
Yeah.
never done it.
I just don't want to
So
do any more Zoom shit. So, like, this idea of sitting in a garage with, where you could actually hug someone, I think can be very powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question. How do we know when we're called to something?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like you just kind of feel like you're getting picked up and carried. Like doing this podcast is the easiest thing I do all week.
Oh, seamless. You're right.
Seamless,
So
easy.
number one, you're right. It's like it doesn't feel like you're trying to what's that saying? Put a cylinder into a square hole,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
a peg into a, well, I don't know what that.
yeah.
It doesn't feel forced. It
So it
feels
feels,
very
yeah,
seamless. Yeah.
it flows.
But it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that I mean, you still have to put work into whatever it is.
Correct. But
Yeah.
also some things, like you're getting called to do them, but it doesn't flow because it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
And there are things that in my life that I don't want to do that I know I should do, that I want to do, that will help me grow career wise, professionally, personally. And that stuff doesn't flow because it's really scary.
Yeah.
And all my defense mechanisms come up, and my distraction tactics, and I'd rather do anything but make progress on these things that I think are important than I am feeling called to do.
Yeah. I like that. I agree with you. Things that are seamless seems to be meant.
But then sometimes you'll meet someone, you think it's seamless, and it's just your old attachment wounds or your abandonment wound or something, or your trauma bonding, and it's like it's seamless, and it's
well, but don't they all play out? I mean, doesn't it feel seamless only for a little bit, and then until it doesn't, and then you realize that it wasn't actually seamless? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So was it meant to be? Were you called?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think it is very tricky. And for me, I've always struggled with like intuition.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Me too. As someone who wants to believe in greater things, and someone who does believe that we are a conduit, we are catalysts, and there are greater energies kind of working through us. I believe that 100%. But how do I make decisions? How do I navigate things based on intuition, not logic? That's been a struggle.
Yeah, and I think I can like overthink. I overthink. I overthink everything, and it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't
Getting in your
get
own way,
me. It doesn't get me any closer.
right?
Like this is such a I don't know. This is a bougie example, but I'm trying to figure out where to go after Lisbon.
And you're reading all the fucking reviews.
Dude,
I
I'm
mean,
reading.
it's what happens when we open Netflix. I mean, the
Yeah,
choices, man, and then you're like, is this good? How many? What did it rate on Rotten Tomatoes? You're so exhausted by the end. You're like, I don't want to watch anything anymore.
yeah, yeah. I'm reading the reviews. I'm looking at the airline flights. What's the most optimum flight? Is it
Yeah,
direct? Is it what time
yeah.
does it leave? And actually, I'm going to Greece. I'm going to go to this island, Pados, where my dad and I spent a ton of time, just so I
Oh,
can be like
nice,
closer to
nice.
him, and also because I want to. I know that I've been going there for like 15. I've been going there since I was 16. So it's a
Wow.
no brainer. It's easy. Like I know where
Yeah,
everything is. I know where to eat. I don't have to think about anything. And it's actually the worst flight. It's literally a flight that leaves at midnight and arrives at 6 a.m. It's like there's no worse flight, but it doesn't matter because that's like I want to be there.
yeah. It's important to you.
It's
You
important to
think it's
me.
gonna bring a lot of stuff up, memories, and
I think
obviously,
I think so. Yeah, and also I'm planning on writing about like the countless trips that we've
yeah.
taken to Greece together.
Just you and dad, father son trips to Greece.
Yeah, sometimes my mom, sometimes my
Okay,
brother, but oftentimes me and dad.
that's amazing.
Yeah, lots of
Wow.
trips. And we have, yeah, this is weird, but we have two motorcycles out there that have just been sitting there at a motorcycle shop since
What?
since
Just locked up in the park? A chain?
no, in a motorcycle. It's just a guy that there's a
Okay.
motorcycle shop, and he just like stores them for the year, and then we use
Yeah.
them whenever we go there. And we've had those motorcycles there since 2006.
Wow.
And so we've taken a bunch of trips together to different islands and throughout Greece, and so it'll
Yeah.
just be fun to go and reconnect and ride the motorcycle around.
Oh, you're gonna dust that off, start it up. That's amazing, man. That's a somatic experience.
Yeah, it's an old like Husky 700cc like enduro bike, and
Oh,
then an old
nice.
KTM. Yeah,
Huskies are
so I
awesome.
think
Yeah.
so, but like I was trying to like think my way into that situation when in my belly, like all I wanted to do was be in Greece and eat Greek food and
Mm,
swim and
mm,
ride the motorcycle. And so I
yeah.
had to like listen to the intuition, even though it was they're expensive tickets. Like the whole thing's kind of inconvenient. It's actually pretty far from
Logically.
where I am.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
make any sense logically, but now I'm doing it. So sometimes you have to drop into the body.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I love it. There it is. Number two. Number one, seamless. For people out there wanting a list. Number two, yes, dropping into the body. Dropping into the body, feeling it.
Like I've been doing the new core energetics thing,
Hmm.
the like somatic psychology or therapy thing, and they sometimes you'll do something and then the facilitator will be like, "Do you like it?" And you're supposed to say like, "I like it" and "I don't like it." Like we're boiling it down to the very essence of
Mm,
"I like it," "I don't like it." Right. And so that's how we
yeah.
can like start making decisions in our life easier by just trying to like, does this feel good to me or does this not feel good? Do I like
Mm.
this feeling? Do I not like this feeling? Do I like this project? Do I not like this project?
Yeah, I think for many people, if you're not used to, like me, dropping into your body, this is a new thing. Maybe in the last 5 years, it's hard to do, and it's confusing, and there's a practice involved.
Why do therapists are always like, oh, you're angry? Where do you feel it in your body?
Oh my god, dude! So can I just say, and listen, that's a modality. It works for many people. I know that I need it. It is definitely medicine for me. But the last therapist I had, it was a short run. Great guy, but every question was, where do you feel it in your body?
Hmm.
Like every question. So it always went back to where you felt it in your body. And I was like, and I was really trying to, do this work. And I was like, I don't know where I don't think I feel it anywhere. But we're just talking. I don't know. It was so hard to, I don't, and sometimes I felt like he was reaching like, you know, where is it in your body? Sometimes maybe I don't feel it in my body. Like, I don't know. And
Is
he's
this
like,
your
no.
most recent therapist?
Yeah. Yeah. Most recent.
It sounds like his toolkit was a hammer. And every question starts looking like a nail.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of people who specialize in things, and so a bit of kind of like I don't I'm not saying he is because I didn't go long enough. He was really great at what he did, but people specialize in one specific thing can sometimes kind of be like a one trick pony, meaning
Mm,
instead of pivoting, they just keep, like you said, hitting it. This is what I've learned. This is what I know. This is what I believe in. Where do you feel in your body?
yeah.
Oh no, I wanted to talk about the date I had last night. Okay, where do you feel that in your body?
You're like,
Oh, there wasn't that much of a connection. Okay, right there. Where do you feel that in your body? Well, right.
you're like, let me get to a feeling, dude. He just
But I'm
really
sure
wanted
it's
to help.
powerful. I'm sure it works. It works, obviously. But that I just feel like, okay, this is not a good fit for me right now.
Well, it's funny, but I guess the question is, why do therapists do that? And I think because they're trying to get you
Yes.
to like somatically experience the feeling so that you can then maybe later have more insight as to like what the fuck is going on when you're activated or triggered
Yeah.
or dysregulated.
My whole modality, and it's a bit controversial. The primer for me is like, let's go jump in ice. I'll do it with you. So instead of me asking over and over where you feel it in your body, I just try to enter through a different door, and then come back to it.
I
Let's
don't
go
get
sit in a
it.
sauna. Huh?
Hmm.
Now, where do you feel? Let's loosen you up a little bit. Get on the back of my motorcycle.
Would you be like, show me how you touched her?
Where do you feel? Wait, Shaun, stop, stop. I was gonna say, dude, we're 30 minutes in. Don't look now, but we haven't talked about dicks and all
But
the
don't do it.
sexual stuff. I know, but you just went. And I was gonna celebrate that. Be like, here's our episode where we don't. And then you said, where did you touch her? We
Yeah,
we
her,
still.
not him, not her.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, we can still listen. I love the sex talk, and you know what? Love Line was a lot of the sex talk, but I've noticed every one of our episodes, man. Woo!
Small willies. Hey, about that, the feedback for last week's episode,
Oh, the dirty talk.
phenomenal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was nervous because I thought people would say, just because of the landscape and how the sensitivity, that it was inappropriate, or we're trying to get our listeners to do something for the sake of entertainment, all that stuff. So I was waiting for that to a backlash.
No, I mean, the inappropriate part was you trying to hook up with your listeners.
I was not trying to. I said, would that be the natural progression? It seems like it's headed that way.
We took a
There was
turn.
no intention or effort on my
We
part.
we took a turn. We're not. It's not headed that way.
Oh my God, Shaun, just fucking throw me under the bus, dude.
So the feedback was great.
Yeah.
I got one piece that was like, "Hey, that episode really sucked. You guys can do better." But then in the
Oh.
same message, she said, "But I also was like laughing uncontrollably for a lot
Mm,
of it." So I'm like,
mm.
"Did it suck or did you love it?"
Yeah, it's a lot. I love you. Get away.
Yeah. Are you embarrassed that you loved it?
Yeah.
So, and also we've been getting a bunch of voicemails that are like reviews, and they're amazing. They're so positive
Oh,
and
that's
loving,
nice.
and they're giving people hope for men.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I like that we're stumbling into this and not really trying too hard as far as the overarching message, of course, is that we can do better, and you and I being men, um, I'm not going to say middle aged, John. I'm just going to say men.
Just
Um,
dudes, couple guys.
yeah, and then just kind of being ourselves, and then people noticing that that may be one example. So yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Also, do you know when it's appropriate to say that's what she said?
when
When you're relaying something that someone said.
oh, like literally, that's literally
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah. You could say that's what she said. And then you
Right. That's what she said. Yeah. Like if I'm talking to
that's,
my brother and he's talking about my mom or something about
yeah.
getting the
And then
insurance
he
paid, I
says
was like,
what she
that's what she
said.
said.
And then he says that's what she said. And
Yeah.
you'll go, huh, cool,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
dude, I got some questions.
Let's do it.
Who pays for the first date?
Man, I'm gonna for this one, I'm going to go old school.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Just because I always do. For the first, I mean, I guess one can say whoever asked the person out should pay, right? That would be kind of the answer. But I don't know, man. I'm a little bit into that whole like I'm gonna pay for the first date. Even if you ask me out, I'm going to pay for the first date. Now, I'm not going to fight about it. I'm not going to make a scene because I think there is a point where it's like now you're trying to be like it's like the whole opening door thing where it's like someone saying I can open my own door,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then it's like I'm just trying to the chivalry thing. Um, I'm going to say me, but I do understand. My second answer would be whoever asks the person out should at
Interesting.
least offer it.
Yeah, so I posted about this last week and I got thrown under the bus. I'm definitely on the wrong side
What
of
did
the
you say? The
internet.
other person?
I said, it's just, I was like, just split it, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the other right.
And I said, look, it's very cultural, it's very personal in my experience, or I think we should just split it.
Yeah.
Or make it low cost, and then it doesn't really matter who pays, like, and the reality is that like most of my dates are low cost and I usually end up paying, but I don't know why. I also think that splitting it is a good idea. Um, in a lot of places, like in Europe, splitting it is like the de facto. I mean, that's where going Dutch comes from, right?
Right. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But I think it's because it's the first date people are having pushback. Like the if it was the fifth date, I mean, eventually, yes, you do start splitting. I would start to get offended or taken advantage of, at date number 10 if the person doesn't even offer anything.
yeah.
But
I mean,
on the first date, it's like,
a lot of people are saying like, oh, the man pays for dinner, and then the woman, and these are like stereotypically
yeah,
heterosexual. This is the dynamic
yeah.
is heterosexual. Is that like the man will pay for dinner, and then the woman will pick up drinks or ice cream or something after,
Oh, dessert. Okay.
or like the man will pay for the first date, maybe the first couple dates, and then they'll start splitting it, or then
Right.
she'll pick up a tab, and I think it's just like it's super personal. I sort of knew when I was going to post this that it was going to be very divisive because it's one of those things that no one really can agree on.
Yes, and it can for many people to turn off if you don't pay or if you
Oh, I mean,
expect like a huge like boner killer.
dude, I got some
Yeah.
feedback that was like, it's no wonder you're single.
Oh my god.
It really,
Wow.
dude,
That's a little harsh, man. That's a little harsh, Shaun.
dude, that is very harsh.
Yeah. Just for
It,
wanting to
it,
split the check?
it fucked me up, and also it led to me turning story replies off on Instagram, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
no longer read comments because
Yeah.
we agree that I should not be reading comments at
So
this point.
one of the things about Shaun is which I value and I think it's amazing is he goes into the trenches and he reads everything. But the double-edged sword is he's also a sensitive human being, and people say things that can hurt his feelings, like someone saying, "No wonder why you're single." That's hurtful, man. That's a little, yeah.
Also, like I've never like split a bill and then they didn't want to see me again. Like I don't think I've ever ruined a potential relationship because I
Right,
split the
because of
bill.
that. Right. Also,
But
maybe it's your choice to be single. Why is single a stain? Like, no wonder why you're single. It implies that singlehood is a bad thing.
I think because I've talked about not wanting to be single.
Oh, okay.
But I do agree that there's nothing wrong with being single if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
you want. But I think a
yeah.
lot of people are involuntarily single,
Right.
right?
They would prefer to be in a partnership, but
Yeah,
they haven't
unless they're
found
having
someone.
this a single on purpose phase.
Yeah. I didn't say single
Um,
forever. I didn't say single forever. I said just connect to yourself first, which is actually what Shaun's doing right now as he's traveling and going to be on a motorcycle and revisiting places. Yeah.
Dude, title of your next book, Single Forever, a guidebook for men.
Single forever. That no one's going to buy that book. No
A,
one will buy a book that says single forever.
a guidebook for men.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Okay, let's keep talking about the first date thing. We haven't gotten even like scratched the surface. When you say, so some people have said whoever asks pays.
Yeah.
That is 95% of the time the man.
I mean, yeah, in a way.
Because
I mean,
most women are
unless
like,
you're like on Bumble and she starts the conversation and
she'll start it, but she's not going to ask. A
Yeah.
lot of men, a lot of
Right.
women just like want the man to lead, right?
Right.
Like, and a lot of the feedback was like, hey, if you can't buy me like a $30 meal, then like, how are you ever going to provide
Yeah. There's a
for
lot
me?
of there's a lot of weight placed on that. Let's split the check, and then it activates them. Now they think you're cheap, and then they're like, "Oh, what? He's not going to buy me anything on Valentine's Day." Like there's a whole thing that, yeah,
Yeah, and why would I have a kid with this guy? He's not gonna. We're gonna have to split. We're gonna nickel and dime everything.
yeah, future tripping, big time.
Uh,
You know what, I will always pay, and I'll make an argument about that, but I do appreciate a lot when someone actually says, "Oh, let's whatever, let me help you," or whatever. Even though I don't allow it, that means a lot to me. The effort that they on the first date, even, or just a thank you. Sometimes they say nothing, and that to me makes me feel kind of like no thank you, no nothing. They just wait for you to pay, and then I'm like, and then I judge that, and I shouldn't.
yeah, no, that's a no go for sure.
Just
Um,
etiquette, yeah,
my
manners.
buddy was looking at this from a game theory perspective,
Hmm.
and he was like, from a game theory perspective, it's a bad move to split the bill as a man because the
Mm.
percentage is so high of women that are going to be turned off by it, and
Oh, it's not right. Like you
there's
can't
just
recover
another
from it. Yeah,
can't
the
recover from it,
ratio.
and there's a
Yeah,
guy right behind the next dude who is going to pay.
right, right.
And so it's like from a strategic standpoint, it makes sense to pay. But also, like, women want equality, right?
Hmm.
But not on the first date.
Starting on the second date. Starting on the second date, they want
Third or
to
fourth, probably.
34. Yeah,
Then
yeah,
we want equality, but not on the first
yeah.
date. And there's a lot of arguments. It's like the pink, about the pink
No, the pink text.
tax,
Oh, tax. No, what's the pink tax?
just that it's more expensive to be a woman.
Mm.
Hair,
Oh,
nails, clothing,
I get that. I get that. I mean,
feminine
effort.
hygiene.
Sure, sure. I mean, listen, man. A lot of men just roll out of bed. Just fix their hair. Just brush their teeth. They're out the door. Well, women, of course, lots of things.
So the pink tax is why men should pay.
That's interesting. I've never heard that. Okay.
Also,
Okay.
pay gap. Men make more.
Oh, wow. Lots of art. Dude, this is
Dude,
a courtroom.
dude,
Fuck. Oh my
you can't.
God.
It's like dodging
Yeah,
bullets.
yeah.
It's
Oh
yeah.
God. Is it that big of a deal? Do we have to really dissect this into that?
Well, so I guess what I said is like, look, I guess mine. Here's the thing: like, if I could think back of the first dates that I've had of the women that have turned into girlfriends, I've totally paid.
Yeah.
But
I've
they were
paid.
also they were like drinks,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
my last girlfriend, I paid for the coffees and I paid for dinner. But also, she was a school teacher.
Yeah. I wonder if that's also something to consider, is where you're at in your life financially,
100%.
Yeah, as opposed to, in my 20s, it would be a lot harder to pay for a $200 dinner than today, where it's just, just throw your card.
$200. I'm not going on a $200 first
Dude,
date
that's my
dinner.
mistake. I'm always going on big, expensive first dates.
What are you
Um,
doing? Well,
I'm just
you don't
old,
have
man.
you don't have to worry about that anymore. But
Yeah, but they've always, just because I want it to be nice, and I make reservations. I mean, one of the things that Vanessa was really impressed about, that I was like, "What?" Is she's like, "Oh my God, you made reservations and we're going out to dinner," and she's like, "That's not." I was like, "Really? I thought that's not what people do when they ask." God, this was weird.
dude, I like it. I
Um,
mean, old school worked for you.
Old school works for me.
But also,
Yes.
like, man, if you've been single a lot and you've been dating a lot, like, that's gonna get real expensive.
Yes. So I was not swiping enough to experience the tally of that. So of course, coffee and drinks is more realistic. I mean, you're not going to go out and make reservations and go on $200 dinners every time you want to meet someone. That's crazy.
I like coffee, drinks, and a walk, and if we like each other, we extend to a meal.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I did with
Yeah.
my ex. We
So
had
so so here's the thing. Okay, if you're doing coffee and you're like, let's split the check.
no,
That's you can't do
you
that
can't
shit.
split the coffee. You can't
you
split
can't
you can't.
you can't split. Yeah, we're talking about, like, Sean's talking about full dinners, But yeah, if you have two coffees and you're like, hey, your half
I
is
got the coffee.
$5.95. Yeah,
I got the coffee,
that's
and I'm pulling out my little frequent coffee card.
Your punch.
Pop, pop. Yeah, let me get two. Let me get
Yeah,
two of
and then
this.
you're complaining about how your coffee's not hot enough, and then you want a new one. Those are all red flags, definitely for sure.
Wait, the best though is paying for the coffees with filled out punch cards.
Oh God, I can't do that. I
No,
mean,
dude,
listen, if you're in
I think that's
college,
good.
you might be able to get away with something like that in college, but if you're over, I don't know, man, 25, leave the punch cards at Subway, man. Leave them at home. Don't.
Dude, that's so funny because I would 100% use the punch cards.
Oh God, Sean, I'm gonna disagree with you there, man. I'm gonna disagree with you there. On
No,
a
but I'm telling
day,
you, that's what I would do.
no,
And I
but
don't,
yeah, but those punch cards they don't expire, so use them when you're alone. You know what I'm saying? They're
in
fucking.
California, they don't. In California, maybe I'm in a different state, you
Oh
know?
God.
That's so funny. But here's the thing though. Like, I would much rather our first date be super casual.
Yeah.
Like, you could show up wearing yoga pants and a ponytail, and I literally don't care. I do not care.
Well, you gotta make some effort, or you're not gonna feel that they're even interested in you.
Well, I can tell whether someone's interested in me. All
Oh,
I'm
by the
doing
vibe,
is
by the
is
energy.
is getting a
Yeah,
vibe check. That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Because like so many dates, you'll spend all this time chatting, and then eventually you meet and you go, "What the fuck? Like, there's nothing here."
Right, right.
Right? So why are we making all this effort that when like 90% of the time there's no match?
Mm.
And then you have to sit through dinner. How many dinners have you sat through where you're just like, I would do anything, but
That's
to
why
to,
you
to
should go to dinner, not so much for the price. I get the price and how expensive things are, but you're now committing at least an hour. And
oh, at
if five
least.
minutes in, you know this is not going anywhere, now you're fucking stuck here for an hour.
And they find you in the bathroom trying to leave through the little window, and you're stuck.
Dude, can I tell you a story? When I was single and swiping a little bit, I found this. We swiped and we connected, and she was stunning. All her pictures were kind of filtered. I didn't really think anything about it. Swiping was wasn't as fairly new, and I made a first date. First, I've never seen her before in my life. I made a reservation at a French restaurant. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those $200 dinners. She shows up. Dude, I swiped on Drew Barrymore. Drew Carey showed up. It
Mm.
was the most obvious. Oh my God! Like, why would you present yourself this way? And so, right, it wasn't even. It was just a character flaw that I got catfished big time. And so, in that moment, I had to make a decision. Um, do I end it, or because she was being very sweet? Do I just what? Nothing's gonna happen. Do I just buy her dinner and make her laugh? And I did it, man. I just sat there for an hour and I tried to be present, and I knew zero attraction. Also, kind of offended that she would present herself that way, and then that's not who she really is. And I bought her dinner, and and I knew I would never see her again, and I just wanted to give her a good time, and so I
Mm.
felt good about it. Yes,
Did you feel good about it? I would have felt really crummy about the whole thing.
listen, it's I wouldn't do it often. It was a one time thing. You know what? I think I almost felt sorry for her because she said something like there I should have gauged. She said in the chat before we met, she was like, "Oh, I don't know, you're out of my league." And I thought she was just being kind, and I didn't think about that, but she was saying that because she looked nothing like how she presented herself. I think she was kind of hinting that this isn't what I look like. But it was so, dude, it was like I she walked by 10 times. I was like, that's not her. That's not, oh my God, that's her. False advertising was an understatement. But anyway.
Can you imagine having dinner at a French restaurant with Drew Carey though? Like, amazing.
If it actually was Drew Carey, yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
would totally pay for Drew
Yeah.
Carey's dinner. Um, I would be disappointed in myself for not having the courage to stand up and say, "Hey, actually, this isn't going to work. You don't look at all like your photos on the dating
Yeah,
profile."
I
And
was this
so,
close to doing that, and I was like, I started feeling so bad for her, and I was like, look, man, just buy her a nice dinner and let's just hang out. I mean, and let's just be. I thought it was my definition of being a gentleman, but maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's
I feel like, I mean, that's a really hard position to be in.
yeah,
I don't ever want to be in that position.
yeah. I was in
That's
it, man.
why coffee date,
Coffee date.
split the bill as soon as you see that I got catfished.
Coffee date, you take care of it. Split the bill if it's like a dinner. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, no. I guess the advice is just pick up the check if you're a dude. But then I was like, hey, what do
that's what I say.
what do queer couples do?
See, yeah, I guarantee you that I'm not sure, but I would assume that they split the bill.
The feedback was I heard from a couple dudes was we don't really care. If you offer to pay, I'll let you. If I offer to pay, you'll let me, or we split it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not a
it's not
big
a big
deal.
deal. It's
It's
not
not a big
even
deal.
worth talking about.
It's not a big deal.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It's
doesn't
almost a
mean
turn off to even thinking about it is a turn off. Like it's tacky.
anything.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
And
You're
then
right.
the feedback is like, dude, are the straights okay? Like, are they? And it's like, no, we're not okay,
We're not. The straights are crazy. The straights are fucking crazy. I would like
dude.
it, dude. I would take a lot of stuff from that culture that I think the straights can learn from.
What else? You got one more?
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as chemistry, like there isn't a lot of sexual shame in
Yeah.
in in hetero. There's a lot, the rules and all this, and if you sleep with someone too soon, then it means this, and it's like a lot of that kind of stuff. And in queer culture, I don't think there is much at all. It's like
Well,
just
there's a lot of personal shame around being queer if you haven't come out or if you're
yeah.
new. If
Oh sure.
there's a lot of that,
Yeah, yeah.
but maybe less within the relationship. Also, I think I don't know. I feel like queer folks are better at talking about STIs and sexual health.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm sure. My gay friends have more sex than any straight person I know.
Well, to gay men,
Gay men. I mean,
that's
literally.
like two gas pedals.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
There's
But
no
I've heard
break.
stories where like he would say, John, I will like drive to the gym, meet eye contact with someone at a intersection, and 5 minutes later we're in an alley getting intimate. I'm like,
Um,
I can't imagine that happening for straight for straight people at all. But yeah, you're
I
right.
mean,
Two gas
I've
pedals,
had some
no
like
brakes.
short runways, but not 5 minutes.
No, not eye contact at a intersection, and then suddenly. I mean that's a porno movie. That's an adult movie.
I
And
met a
then
woman.
suddenly you.
I met a woman on a ferry going
Mm.
from uh, Vancouver to Vancouver Island. Actually, we're going to Tofino, and I was driving, and she was just had a backpack, and we just started chatting. And she was going to like a hotel, and I go, "Oh, do you want me to drop you off at your hotel?" Because I had a car and she didn't. She was going to have
Mm-hmm.
to like walk or something. And so I like escorted her to her motel, and then she was like checking in, and then she was like, "Oh, do you want to see my room?" And then we had sex.
Oh, oh
It was like
wow.
an hour and 20 minutes.
That is that's I don't know what word to. I was gonna say impressive, but I don't know if that's. But yeah, I'm impressed by that.
Impressive or worrying? Are you worried about me?
Is she still in your trunk?
She's not in my trunk. No,
Oh, she's not in your trunk.
I never put her there. So
Um, that's a fantasy of mine. I'm trying to think. I think my. So your time to beat is 1 hour and something. Mine would be like 8 days, 8 days and change.
is that
Be like
true?
my fastest. Dude, I've never. Have I ever? No, I've never met someone and then been intimate with them on the same day.
Oh, I
Unless
mean,
unless we were already friends and we've been flirting for months. Not like you, like a stranger on a ferry. No, dude,
the
that's
Stranger on the Ferry was. I've had shorter, like time frames, but they were. We met on a dating app with the plan to hook up, and so maybe it was 30 minutes or
oh
45 minutes.
okay.
That's the time to beat, really. But the ferry was a just total random stranger.
Well, listen, this is a generalization, but women can generally go into any room and bar, restaurant, and kind of like take someone home. Men
That's a
it,
generalization.
it's a generalization, and it's also based on like so. Vanessa was a bartender, and in her 20s. I mean, she said, yeah, I used to just walk in and like whoever I thought was the hottest guy in the room, and whatever. I can't do that. I never. I don't know if, unless you're like a famous. Unless you're like I don't know who can do that.
A lot of women can't. I don't think a lot of women can do that
Yeah.
either. Just like
Well, more
personally,
so than men.
would
More so than men.
definitely,
Oh yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Okay, remember when I asked you? We should get to some questions, but remember when I asked you, um, like, did you know that straight people use Grinder?
Oh, back yes, many episodes ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And what was the reason? The challenge to see if they could. Um, oh,
No.
straight people using Grinder.
Yeah, I think it was just straight,
Curiosity.
either
Yeah.
curious, or actually closeted.
Right.
Um, so I guess there's this thing where straight dudes are also claiming to be using dating apps to find friends or meet friends. So like women are finding dating apps on their boyfriends' phones, and the answer is just like, "Oh, I'm just using it to
Oh,
like
so
make
it's not an
friends."
excuse. It's actually truth.
No, I think it's an excuse.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous. That who would believe that?
Well, a
That
lot
makes
of women are believing that. That they're like,
no
is it
God,
could it is it true that men use dating
no,
apps to make friends?
no. That is not true.
It's not true.
Men don't. Men would. That's not even the approach that they would do to meet friends.
How do men meet friends?
Communities, things in common. Uh, you know the female friends I have. It's not from dating apps, that's for sure. Unless you first try to pursue them romantically,
Yeah,
it's not a good fit, and you become friends. It's
yeah,
usually through like the gym or a club or or from other friends. You
yeah.
know,
If you're a dude
social.
and you got a dating app, you're looking to hook up.
Yeah, I hate to generalize, but I would say 99.99, unless the dating app is a specific, like it's only to like it's like a friend app, but I don't know if there's that's such a thing.
It's called Facebook.
Yeah, it's called social media.
It's
Yes.
called Instagram.
Yes.
Um,
That is a lie.
I think I've also heard the excuse that like, oh, I'm just like looking for fun. It's like social media, you know.
Yeah. No, no, no. There's intention involved.
So basically, if you find a dating app on your partner's phone,
Couples counseling.
yeah, or breakup.
I wouldn't break up too fast. That's yeah.
Okay.
I think people put too much like, oh, you like that person's, or like if you follow attractive people on social media, or whatever. It's like
I
they
think
get the axe, and it's like just take a beat. Listen, we're human. What's.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I
Yeah,
think take a beat, but there's a big difference between liking a hot girl's post on Instagram and finding your
a dating
boyfriend's
app.
Tinder
Yeah.
account.
Well, that means that there is not only intention, but now he's actively doing something, even
Oh,
if it's
oh,
swiping.
the other excuse is, oh, I forgot I like deleted the app, but not the profile, because the profile stays
Mm,
active if you just
right,
delete the app. You have to
right,
like
right.
delete the profile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, like, you don't think your girlfriend or your partner's friends are going to see you on the dating
Oh,
app?
I know. Yes, they will, 100%. They will
What? Like
see.
that's how
It's
they
a
find
small
out.
world.
That's how most
Yeah,
people find out is like,
yeah,
oh, Jenny saw you on a fucking dating app.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I think men are like, look, there's billions of people in this world. I'll be fine. It's like, no, algorithms, cities, your hairdresser will see you. And yes,
absolutely.
yeah,
Okay, question.
let's do it.
All right, I got two.
All right, perfect.
Hi, Shaun and John. My name is Nicholas. I'm 36 from Portland, Oregon. I love what you guys are doing. My question has to do with navigating communication after a first date that goes really well. I feel like I'm having trouble reading women, and when it comes to pacing early on, figuring out how to show interest, but also not coming on too strong and eager. I feel like I've lost out on some great connections because I may
Mm.
have shown too much interest in wanting to meet again. It's not like I'm sending good morning, beautiful texts the next day or anything, but I just feel like every woman wants to go at a different pace, and it's hard to tell. Um, yeah, would love to hear your thoughts about this. Thanks.
This is a great question. Very common. You feel a connection, and then like what's too much? What do I? Yeah,
Do you play it cool? Do you go
yeah,
hot and heavy?
yeah.
Do you make a second date plan on the first date?
Remember that scene in Swingers where the dude leaves a message, and then he's like, oh, he leaves another message. He's like, oh, fuck, wait, let me. And he leaves like 20 messages, and then she's like, picks up the phone and says, don't ever call me again.
Yeah, John
Remember?
Favreau.
Yeah, John Favreau. God, so I don't like games, man. I don't like games, but I'm also, I don't think you should pour your heart out, the next day. Um, talk about children, kids' names and shit. I would express interest. I would say, I had a great time. I wouldn't say things like, I feel like we have chemistry, or like I would just more be like, I had a great time. I would like to see you again, kind of thing. Keep it kind of short and sweet. But I definitely would be honest. I wouldn't like play this like, what is it, like 3 days or any kind of rule or number thing that you're supposed to do. Yeah.
No games.
No
I mean,
games.
what you just said is perfect. I had a really great time. I would love to see you again.
Yeah.
When are you free?
Yes.
That's it.
Short and sweet.
And then make a plan
nudge.
in the next, less than a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Make
see
an
them
effort.
again.
Yes.
Like if you saw them on a Friday, then try to make a plan during the week. Like, hey, are you free on Wednesday to do a thing?
Yeah. Don't start the conversation with, hey, I feel like we've known each other in a past life and we've been lovers and I can't stop thinking about you.
Yeah.
We just had coffee.
Yeah. Are we soulmates?
Yeah. Are we soulmates? And do you want kids? And like all that stuff. It's too heavy. It's too much.
This might be, I don't know, sometimes like if the first date is going really, really, really well and it's obvious, I'll be like, I really love this and I would love to see you again.
Yeah. And to the caller, I also want to say, and this is, this isn't always the case, but it's kind of a rule I live by. If they like you, you will know. If they like you, you will know. Like I understand people play games. I understand there's flirting and all this, but a lot of people will be like, I don't know if they like me. It's been 2 months. We went out once and they're returning my text. So I know they're interested and they're like just trying to make it's like, no, you will know. You will know. They'll give you hints if they're into you. They'll make time for you. I guarantee you.
Yeah. I've been pretty clear with every woman who has become a girlfriend that I was really into it. I might have even been too clear. Like I might have shown too much interest.
Yeah. Yeah. But I appreciate the honesty, and I think, a lot of women are nice and they don't want to be mean. And so a lot of dudes can misinterpret that. And then they're still making excuses and it's been 3 months and they're always busy, but they're like, yeah, but she's still returning my text. It's like, no, she's probably not that.
She's not that interested if you haven't seen her in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say even like 2 or 3 weeks. If they're into you, they'll make an effort, even if it's short.
Also, like, I feel like we need to have built in. We can't be too available. That's sort of what I want to say. Like, don't play games, but also don't be like, hey, I'm free like Monday through Wednesday, Monday through Friday, like after 5, like, or even maybe during the week, like during work, like take a half day off or something.
Right.
Like, have a big life, have a full life where you're like, I play badminton on Tuesdays, I have a men's group on Thursdays, but I'm free on Fridays and Sundays. Like, so that you're not, so it doesn't look a little desperate. So it's not a game. It's just that like you have a full life.
Yeah.
I feel
they
like
want
that's
someone with a full life, One of the things that I asked myself when I was single for the first time after divorce was, where am I going? And then who's going with me? And if I reverse the order, I'll be going alone. Meaning, you got to be going, they're getting on a ride as you're getting on a ride as well. So like, if you're thinking about who's going with me and then where am I going, it's, you got to bring something to the table, which is like, where's this guy going? What is he doing? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was my mantra because in my 20s and when I used to put women on pedestals, they were the sun I revolved around. It was like, who's my one? Who's my the one? And then I'll think about where I'm going and purpose and these other things. That's going to be my life. And that obviously didn't work out. So
but also if you think about it that way, it's like, it doesn't really matter what you do. You just want someone and then you'll fucking do whatever they want to do.
Right. You'll do what makes sense. And yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've definitely done that before. And I think generally speaking, if we're talking about heterosexual relationships, women do want a man with purpose.
Well, going somewhere. Sure. And you don't have, we could be struggling and building and all that, but I mean, purpose, ambition, passion, that's sexy. That's hot.
Yeah. That reminds me of like, I get this question a lot, is like, when do you tell someone like that you want to be with them, right? Or like that you're looking for a long-term relationship?
Oh, like official.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I get that a lot too.
a lot of women want that the man, again, the man
Mm.
to like, to make the declaration of like, oh, I want to be with you. I want to be in a relationship. Um, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know if there's a general rule. I always said to myself, and maybe this is because I'm older, is once you've been physically intimate, then you kind of have a right to hint to what this is going to be. But I don't know what the landscape is like now. I don't know if physical intimacy even means anything these days,
Well,
or
what
if it
I've heard
needs
is
to.
like, don't tell a man that you want to be in a relationship because you'll either scare him off or he will say that's what he wants just so he can keep sleeping with you.
Mm,
And what I want to say is that, like, dude, the bus driver doesn't ask the man where he's going, right? Or the bus driver doesn't ask the passenger where he's going. The bus driver says, I'm going to relationship town. Do you want to get in? Do you want to get on? Or do you want to get off? Like, this is what I am looking for. Rather than just saying, like, I don't know,
yeah,
whatever you want, you know?
it all plays out. If someone's not interested in a relationship, it'll play out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You ready for a hard question? Then we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, not this one. Boom.
Hi, my name's Drew. I'm 23. I'm out in Texas. A question that I had is, so I've got a friend, and he's very big into self-improvement, and a big part of the male self-improvement space online is kind of demonizing women, like Andrew Tate, things like that. And sometimes he'll share some of his opinions that I can tell came from this internet rabbit hole of male self-improvement that kind of demonizes women. How do I level with him and tell him that some of that stuff might be misguided or hateful?
Mm.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guy's got a buddy
who
who's
who is
listening to Andrew Tate,
Tate,
and
right? And demonizing women. How does he check his buddy? How does he express to his buddy that this is men who are, who are
who hate
posturing and scared and
and who hate women,
and who hate women? Yeah,
right? Like the Manosphere, the red pill stuff, the incel stuff. Like a lot of these guys
yeah.
don't like women. They're not feminists. They're anti-feminists.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're like saying that women are taking their power away, and that there's a rebalancing happening, and men are going to be, second tier citizens, and
Yeah,
this
it's
is
all
what you
coming
need
from fear.
and not love.
Oh yeah, 100%. This may be something that actually cracks the friendship if I mean, if the person is going to start behaving or adapting, Andrew Tate philosophies or whatever, if he's enrolled in this stuff,
Yeah, what you're saying is that he's going to have to talk about it, like,
yeah, it
and
might
that it
not
might,
line up with his values,
yeah,
and also, I think a lot of men who follow that are in a position where because I don't want to just judge them, that they are lost and seeking for something, like um, for example, like just because I personally don't believe in sinology. I've had friends who are, smart and who got into it because they were in a place in their life where they were vulnerable and looking for some kind of guidance, something to pull them out, and whether we're talking about Andrew Tate or a religion or a cult, whatever, uh, they grasp onto something that is greater because they are like a leaf in life and they're looking for something.
yeah, they're in pain, they have a need, and they think they found a solution.
Yeah.
I think one strategy could be to have a lot of curiosity whenever your friend, and this actually works with anything, right? Like if your friend is saying like, is talking about some weird, Andrew Tate thing, you could say, "Oh, I'm curious about that. Like, can you say more? Or
Mm-hmm.
is that something that do you believe? Like,
Yeah.
do you believe that women are taking over the world and men are second tier citizens?" That's just an example. I'm not familiar with the Andrew Tate stuff because I've never actually looked at it. But and then they can and so they can sort of explain like, yeah, I think it does make sense, like here's why I think it makes sense, and then the friend can just be like, huh, I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I really disagree with that outlook.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about that, it's about love, it's about this, it's about that.
Yeah.
And to try to have like just a regular conversation with them about it. I think this person is scared of losing their friend, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, but friends, we grow apart. Friends, it's not just based on history. And as we evolve, just because you went to high school with someone or you guys had a very close relationship, we can get interested in different things, and that gets us to drift. And maybe that relationship expires. I know with the Andrew Tate stuff, it's not like the his views on women. It's not just, that's not how he gets men in. It's a lifestyle that he portrays. So kind of the alpha male, rich and fast cars, smoking a cigar. Like there's this like sexy lifestyle that is that I think a lot of young susceptible men buy into, and then once they're in, like whether it's hustling or whatever it is, build your empire, then part of that is also ripples into their views on women. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
I don't think they get him in because they hate women. I think they get him in because look at this lifestyle. If you're lost and alone, you're in your 20s. Well, listen, I'm a millionaire or I'm a billionaire, and I've got, I can get any girl I want. I've got these cars. I live in mansions, and this is how you do it. Look at my body. This is how you do it. So I think he's selling them like a lifestyle and being kind of like an alpha male. And then once they buy it, it's like pledging a fraternity. It's like you're a pledge, and you're looking at the fraternity house and all these brothers in the house, and they portray themselves as these kind of alpha males getting women, going to parties and all. And then I was one of these pledges, and then you kind of go through the system and you get into the house and you're like, wait a minute, this is they're not who I thought they were, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's sort of I don't know, a bait and switch isn't the right thing, but they get them in under the guise of like, you want money, you want success.
Yeah.
You'll get women, you'll get cars, you'll get
there's
this.
a lifestyle presented, right? But it reminds me of, and I think this is a great metaphor. It reminds me of when I was a freshman at Cal State Northridge, which is a commuter school with no social life, and me being a 18-year-old kid who knew no one, and everyone's talking about the top house. You got to get into this house. Once you get into the top house, you're going to get girls, you're going to go to parties, everything's going to work out. Just get into this house. And so it's like the club, right? And then they presented themselves as, yeah, we're the top house. If you want to be successful, if you want to be popular, you want to go to parties, stuff. And then so that's what made me go to the parties. They gave me a pledge pin. I felt special. Went through the whole thing, got in, realized this is lame. It's not what I want to do. Yeah.
What was the top house?
Oh, I don't want to say the fraternity, because we talked about hazing and them peeing on me and stuff like that.
Oh, we can't out them?
No, I don't want to out them.
It's like 30 years ago.
I know, but I had good times too, and the pledges get really close because they go through initiation together. It's a long process. But
dude, John,
anyway,
do they have dirt on you? Do they have videos?
No, but I did see a lot of young posturing men participating in very toxic behavior. And speaking of hating women, a lot of frat parties is dangerous for women, man. Women, young girls getting drunk and then getting taken advantage of, and whether it's through pressure or through it's like, dude, it's very toxic because you're mixing alcohol, horny boys, lots of locker room type of high-fiving, and then young women who want to fit in and be liked. It's just a recipe for sexual assault and date rape and all the bad things, man.
I'm surprised you wanted. I guess you wanted a social life, so.
Well, it wasn't presented that way, and then once I got in, I was like,
yeah,
dude, I don't like any of this. And so I lasted about a month. I became a brother, got letters on my chest, and I was like, oh, this is lame. I pretty much.
Oh, and you left?
Yeah, I spent. I got peed on for nothing.
Oh no, not for nothing. You had to get peed on to realize that this isn't what you wanted out of life.
Yeah.
You're destined for bigger things.
My point is, yes, the Andrew Tate and a lot of this movement of kind of alpha alpha males, recruiting younger men. I think they're selling them a lifestyle. And then once they buy into that lifestyle, there's a methodology and the way they see the world and where women should be and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, and also those guys are selling stuff. Like they're selling programs. They're selling
expensive
courses.
programs.
They're selling really expensive things.
Yeah. They're also running from the cops. They're also, wanted and all that. Yeah. So
I think if you follow the love, like it's usually there isn't a ton of money behind it.
Yeah, they're not trying to sell you something.
I mean, we do, but they're not. We don't have empires. We're not.
No,
we're not like
yet.
recruiting hordes. Not yet. Yeah,
we're gonna have a compound, and we're going to have.
T-shirts.
Ultimately, this is going to be a cult. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I was just thinking T-shirts, merch.
Oh, you gotta think bigger, Shaun. You gotta think bigger, man. You can't just think T-shirts.
Baby steps, dude. I'm a baby steps
man,
guy.
I'm thinking about a ranch and a cult and
no ranch, dude. No, that's how it ends.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, man.
I'm the one who's you're the gas. I'm the brakes. I'm trying to rein it in a little bit. You're a wild horse, dude.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to wrangle you a little bit.
I don't do much research, man. I drive the bus. I build the bus while I'm driving it, man. There's only one gear at sport mode for me.
Dude, it's a lot of metaphors.
Yes, too many metaphors.
Like
even in my metaphors, I go too hard.
Like, how do you drive a bus and it's not even built? Like where do you even start with that? It's like a wheel. You're like on a wheel, doing that circus thing.
There's 4 wheels and an engine, and that's it, man. It's going.
That's not enough to make it go, man.
No, I don't have brakes. I haven't made the brakes yet. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, I got so many other things to say, but we'll just save it for next time.
Yeah. Hey, I like the tone and energy of this episode because it felt like bone broth.
Like rich and nourishing.
Yeah, rich and nourishing, presence, grounded. I like that we have the I don't know what to call them, other episodes that are kind of hot and funny and I don't know.
Range,
sexy, whatever.
Range.
Yeah, we have range.
We have range.
And then we have episodes like this, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is that I'm not talking as loud because I'm conscious of who else is in the house.
Yeah.
And everybody's on calls. I could hear them on their calls, so they can hear me on this call.
Right.
I'm usually a little bit more unfiltered.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, you're going to be traveling, so it's all taken into consideration.
Next week, Greece.
Ooh, love it. Hey, fun. another place that I really want, top on my list: Portugal, Greece, Korea. Those are like the 3 on my list, and you're hitting all of those except Korea.
Yeah,
dude. If next week you come on and you're fucking in Seoul, I'd be like, okay, now you're not being a good friend. You're doing this shit on purpose. If you're in Seoul, Korea next week, which wasn't on your radar, but because I told you that I've never been there and that's where I want to go, and you're like, hey, John, guess where I'm at? I'd be like, oh, shit. I'd be like, oh, you're that.
Well, 2 things. I was called a bad friend, so it could happen.
True. Yeah.
Title of your next book, Bad Friends on Purpose. Or maybe that's my book.
No more book titles, Shaun. No more book titles. All right, man. I can't wait to hear about your Greece trip.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. One thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, we don't have to say that's what she said. We can say if I say something sexy, like oh man, it was so hard that time or whatever.
Right.
You could say, title your next book. That's a way of saying.
Oh, and so, like if you have to say something instead of saying that, use that as the
title your next book. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing that people are saying. This is like an alternative to it, so that you could still get the quip in, right? Because I want you to get the joke.
Yeah, because there's an urge there. There's an urge.
I want
so you could fulfill that urge, but just don't.
Like I don't know, whatever. It's like, oh, it was so soft, and then you're like, title your next book. So keep that in the back pocket.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Be well.
Have a beautiful week. I forgot because what I wanted to say was love you, John.
Oh, Shaun. Yeah, love you, Shaun. Yeah, maybe we just end like that. Love you, Shaun.
Oh, nice. Okay, bye.
All right, bye.